There is a moment, quiet, invisible to the world, when a human being stands at the edge of doubt and asks a dangerous question: is this ever going to work? Not when you're failing loudly. Not when the world is watching. But when nothing is happening at all. No results. No confirmation. No applause. Just silence. That is the moment that decides everything. Because history was never shaped by people who believed after the evidence arrived. History bends to those who believed before it made sense. Before the money. Before the breakthrough. Before the proof. When belief was the only thing they owned. Most people misunderstand belief. They think belief is optimism. Positive thinking. A mood. It is none of those things. Belief is a decision made in the dark. It is the inner refusal to surrender your vision just because reality hasn't caught up yet. It is the audacity to keep walking when the road looks empty and everyone else has turned back. And if you listen closely, to your own life, to the lives carved into history, you will hear the same truth whispered again and again: the universe tests belief before it rewards it. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before light filled the darkness. The world remembers the bulb, but it forgets the nights Edison stood alone with nothing working yet, choosing belief over ridicule. Abraham Lincoln lost elections, businesses, loved ones, again and again, yet carried an unshakable conviction that his life had meaning beyond temporary defeat. Henry Ford was told he was foolish. Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination. Andrew Carnegie started with nothing but a burning idea and a refusal to think small. What they shared was not luck. It was not talent alone. It was a mental posture so firm that circumstances could not shake it. Unshakable belief does not roar. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't beg the world to notice. It stands still while everything around it tries to move it. Right now, you may be in the phase no one talks about, the waiting phase. The building phase. The nothing is working yet phase. Where effort feels invisible and progress feels imaginary. Where doubt sneaks in disguised as logic. Where the voice inside asks, maybe this isn't for you. But here is the truth Napoleon Hill understood deeply: every great achievement passes through a period of silence. A season where desire is tested, where faith is forged, where belief is purified of weakness. This is not punishment. This is preparation. Because shallow belief collapses under pressure. Borrowed belief disappears when results delay. But unshakable belief, real belief, is built through resistance. It is strengthened by unanswered prayers, delayed victories, and long nights where you choose discipline over despair. Belief begins in the mind, but it is proven through action. Not loud action. Quiet, consistent, relentless action. Showing up when motivation is gone. Thinking clearly when emotion begs you to quit. Holding the image of who you are becoming even when your current reflection contradicts it. The mind is a workshop. Whatever dominates it, fear or faith, clarity or confusion, eventually becomes reality. Hill called this the law of attraction, but not in the shallow sense people misuse today. He meant something deeper. The mind becomes magnetized by its dominant thoughts, and life rearranges itself to match that inner order. When you believe deeply enough, your decisions change. Your posture changes. Your patience changes. You stop begging for permission. You stop chasing approval. You stop explaining your vision to people who cannot see beyond their own limits. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, you begin to move differently. You speak with calm conviction. You work with quiet intensity. You wait without panic. This is where most people fail, not because they lack talent, but because they abandon belief too early. They quit in the invisible chapter. They walk away 5 minutes before the miracle, because nothing looked like it was working. But belief does not need evidence. Evidence follows belief. The seed does not demand proof before it grows. It pushes through soil in total darkness, trusting something it cannot see. And if it survives long enough underground, one day it breaks the surface, and everyone calls it an overnight success. You are underground right now. And that is not weakness. That is incubation. Hold the vision. Tighten the discipline. Guard the mind. Because unshakable belief is not about pretending everything is fine, it is about deciding that your purpose is stronger than your doubts, your patience deeper than your fear, and your future larger than this moment. And once that decision is made, nothing can truly stop you. And understand this, when belief becomes unshakable, it does not remove obstacles. It redefines them. What once felt like resistance now feels like instruction. What once felt like delay now feels like alignment. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and you begin asking, "What is this shaping me into?" This is where clarity is born, not from comfort, but from pressure. Most people want certainty before commitment. They want guarantees before effort. They want assurance before sacrifice. But life has never worked that way for those destined to build something meaningful. Certainty is not the starting line. It is the reward for those who move forward without it. Unshakable belief sharpens your clarity. It strips away distraction. You no longer chase 10 paths at once. You choose one direction and walk it with discipline. Hill called this definiteness of purpose, the moment when a person stops drifting and starts aiming. And once the aim is clear, the mind organizes itself around it. Energy stops leaking. Focus becomes fierce. Time begins to feel sacred. You stop confusing movement with progress. You stop mistaking noise for growth. You stop reacting, and start directing. Belief, when anchored to purpose, becomes vision. Not fantasy. Not wishful thinking. Vision is belief with structure. It is the ability to see yourself already shaped by the work you have not finished yet. To act today as if the future version of you is already watching, counting on you not to break. This is where discipline enters, not as punishment, but as loyalty to your future. Discipline is belief translated into behavior. It is waking up when you don't feel like it. It is training the mind to obey intention instead of impulse. It is choosing long-term meaning over short-term relief. Every great builder understood this. Carnegie studied relentlessly while others relaxed. Ford persisted while critics laughed. Disney kept drawing while doors slammed shut. They did not rely on mood. They relied on method. Because moods are temporary. Belief must be permanent. And let's be honest, there will be days when belief feels thin. Days when progress stalls. Days when effort seems unrewarded. This is where resilience is forged. Not the loud kind. The quiet kind. The kind that keeps going without needing to feel inspired. Resilience is belief under pressure. It is the ability to absorb disappointment without letting it rewrite your identity. To fail without labeling yourself a failure. To lose momentum without losing direction. When nothing is working yet, resilience whispers, keep refining. Keep learning. Keep moving. Learning is the companion of belief. The unshakable believer is never arrogant. They study. They adjust. They remain flexible without becoming weak. Adaptability is not betrayal of vision, it is loyalty to outcome. The path may change. The purpose does not. This is where gratitude becomes power. Not gratitude as politeness, but gratitude as grounding. Gratitude anchors belief in the present moment. It reminds you that progress is not only measured in results, but in growth. In awareness. In strength you didn't have before. Gratitude prevents bitterness. And bitterness is belief's greatest enemy. When belief is unshakable, you stop measuring your life against others. Comparison loses its grip. You understand that everyone is running a different race, on a different timeline, with different lessons to learn. You no longer envy speed, you respect alignment. You trust the process because you trust yourself. And slowly, something remarkable happens. The world begins to respond. Opportunities appear, not magically, but logically, because your mind is finally prepared to see them. People sense your certainty. Circumstances bend to your consistency. What once felt impossible now feels inevitable. Not because the world changed first, but because you did. This is the power of unshakable belief when nothing is working yet. It builds you before it blesses you. It trains your character before it delivers your calling. It demands faith when evidence is absent, so that when evidence arrives, you are strong enough to hold it. So stand firm in the silence. Work faithfully in the unseen. Protect your belief like it is sacred, because it is. The moment you refuse to quit, refuse to doubt, refuse to shrink, that moment sets forces in motion you may not see yet, but will one day look back on and say, that was when everything truly began.